Hey, this is They Reminisce Over You. I'm Christina.
And I'm Miguel. On this episode, we're going to do things a little bit different today. We're actually going to play a game, 6 degrees of pod separation.
6 degrees of pod?
Yeah, because these people that we're going to be talking about are people that we have mentioned on the podcast, or they're affiliated with the people that we've mentioned up to this point, and a couple randoms as well.
Okay, sounds good.
You want to do it?
Let's do it.
Okay. So the reason that we're doing this is because we noticed that in most of the episodes we've done, people tend to overlap.
And they overlap so much that sometimes we even forget.
Yeah. So we saw this on The Nod, one of our favorite podcasts. Come back, The Nod, please.
Well, it's not their fault.
It isn't, but I would like for them to come back. They do something called 6 degrees of black separation, where they try and link any two black people with 6 moves or less. So I figured we could do that as well, but we're not going to limit it to just black people, although most of them will be black. We are going to do the 6 degrees of the pod separation.
So not only were we inspired by The Nod, we thought about doing this because we realized that Clifton Powell was in so many of the movies that Lawrence Tate was in.
He was in everything.
Yeah, when we were doing that episode, I remember there was a part where you said something like, oh yeah, Clifton Powell's in this movie too. And we completely forgot that he had a pretty pivotal role in Menace to Society as well. Come back here about 10:30. And so we were thinking, wow, he's like in all these movies too. And we had inadvertently revisited a bunch of Clifton Powell movies by accident.
We did. So here's an example. We did one a couple days ago just to try this out. Tina Turner to Kendrick Lamar.
I will give my example first.
Okay.
And then we can give yours. Obviously, because it's only the two of us. But us trying this out helped us to figure out the rules of the game.
Because there's some gray areas.
Yeah.
And my Tina Turner one is a definite gray area.
I started off with Tina Turner is connected to Beyonce because they performed at an award show together. It was a Tina Turner tribute. And then Kendrick Lamar was on a song with Beyonce. So there's my 2 degrees. No, that's 1 degree.
That's one, yeah.
1 degree.
A direct connection with Beyonce. Now, mine is a little bit different. I said that Tina Turner was the subject of a movie called What's Love Got to Do with It? Lawrence Fishburne played Ike Turner in that movie.
Eat the cake anime.
Eat the cake anime. Here's where it gets a little sketchy. Lawrence Fishburne was also in a movie called Deep Cover. On the soundtrack was a song called Deep Cover by Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. Dr. Dre produces Kendrick Lamar. He signed to his record label, all that good stuff. It's a little bit of a gray area. There's not a direct connection between Tina and Kendrick, but there is a connection.
We don't know if Dre and Lawrence Fishburne actually were ever in the same room together or know each other. They probably have been,
I'm sure they do.
We don't know.
But we can't prove it.
Right.
So the rules of the game is this.
We decided that they need to at least have been in the same room together. But we did add a small exception because a lot of the people we're going to talk about are also musicians. So the small exception is if they sampled another artist's music because it's a direct connection to the music.
We're going to get from one person to another in 6 moves or less, and we're going to score it like golf. So the lowest score is going to win.
It would be really easy to search the pairs by putting both people's names and coming up with an answer. But to make it a little bit harder, we decided you're only allowed to search one person at a time.
Yes. You couldn't put in Magic Johnson and Paula J. Parker and come up with an answer, because that would be cheating.
Yeah, but you could put Paula J. Parker IMDb.
Yeah, and just go through her history and try and tie things together. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're going to pick our pairs that we're using for this 6 degrees game. And I'm going to just put them into this generator, and whichever 2 come out from the people that we have listed, that's what we're going to go with.
And where did you get these people from?
Well, some of them are people that we've mentioned in our episodes, and others are just randoms that I thought would be funny to add to the list. So are you ready to start taking down these lists?
I am.
All right, so let me hit the generator and get the first pair.
Okay.
Okay, our first pairing, Blair Underwood, your favorite hiking guy, and Paula J. Parker.
Who the fuck is that bitch?
Okay, this is going to be interesting, and it will be pretty difficult, I think, too, but we'll see. Selma Hayek and Tidra Moses.
Okay.
I'm sure it can be done, but it's going to be hard.
We'll see.
All right, next up is, this one is pretty easy actually. Morris Chestnut and Benjamin Bratt.
Morris Chestnut and Benjamin Bratt.
Yeah, I already have something for that.
I don't, but we'll see.
All right, and the next pair is, oh, this is gonna be fun.
Okay.
Sugar Free and Alicia Keys.
Sugar Free and Alicia Keys.
Yep.
Kind of rhymes.
Next up, okay, this is interesting too. Gloria Estefan to Outkast.
Okay. Next.
All right, Marissa Tomei and Mekhi Phifer.
There's one thing that I can think of that I feel will make this connection.
I know what you're thinking.
Don't say it.
I'm not.
Okay.
Because we can't share answers.
We cannot.
But
this is a competition.
I know where you're going though, and so does everybody listening.
Maybe.
Let's see, next one. Keith David and Regina King.
Who's Keith David?
Well, that's for you to figure out, isn't it?
You know I don't know names. I'm always like, it's the guy in the thing.
That's on you, not me.
You just said it was easy.
For me.
Yeah, I'll have to look him up. Is this someone I know?
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's something else that should be pretty easy, I think. Omar Epps and Lawrence Fishburne, or as I like to call him, Larry.
Once upon a time, he was Larry, but he's Lawrence now, okay? Does Omar Epps have to connect to him when he's Lawrence, or can he connect to him when he was Larry?
Lawrence or Larry, either or.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. There's one name that I keep seeing flipping around on here, and it hasn't been paired up yet, and I cannot wait for it to get paired with somebody. But this one is another damn good one.
Okay.
We need to pair in 6 moves or less.
Okay.
We need to get from Jackie Chan to the Source Award.
Jackie Chan to the Source Awards. You have a pairing for a person to a event?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there were a lot of people at the Source Awards that you can link Jackie Chan to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a lot of people at the Source Awards who wouldn't be linked to Jackie Chan.
All right.
And specifically the 95 Source Awards. Next pairing, it's not who I wanted him to be paired up with, but I'm going to have to take it. Tyrese and Daniel Day Kim.
Okay.
Next, Clifton Powell and Bobby Brown.
Ooh, Clifton Powell and Bobby Brown.
So the last pairing, it could be a little bit of a challenge, but I see a pathway to it already. Khalees and Magic Johnson.
This is quite a list. So if you want to play along, now would be a good time to pause, now that you know the pairings, do your little research, and then come back and see if you can come up with less connections than we did.
Yes.
And feel free to tag us with your results and let us know.
Let us know if we could have done it in a much shorter path and you have a much better way of doing it. But I don't think you will.
Why you gotta be rude?
I'm not being rude. I'm just confident in my skills and abilities.
Okay. You ready to get into it?
Yes. You can go first.
Okay. So first matchup is Omar Epps to Lawrence Fishburne.
Larry Fishburne. Wherever you met him first.
So I went from Omar Epps to Nia Long. So they have a movie called Fatal Affair that came out last year.
Okay.
We just saw the trailer, but it looks bad. I'm not gonna lie. But it looks like the kind of bad that I actually want to watch just to see how bad it is.
I don't remember seeing the trailer, so I take your word for it.
We've talked about it. I was saying, should we watch it just to see how bad it is? And you're like, nah. So I'm gonna watch it on my own.
Okay.
So yeah, it just came out last year. IMDb, I think the critic score is like 4 out of 10 right now.
Man.
But it's supposed to be like one of those Fatal Attraction kind of movies.
Okay.
So we got Omar Epps to Nia Long to, of course, Lawrence Fishburne via Boys in the Hood because he played Trey's dad.
Yep.
She was Trey's girlfriend. Boom.
Okay. I'll allow that. It's good. How many moves was that?
So 1, Omar to Nia Long to Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay.
That's 1 degree of separation.
Yes. All right. I thought mine was a little tight, but I got it down to 1 as well.
Okay.
And I did it twice.
Hey, you didn't tell me we were supposed to do this more than once.
Well, we didn't have to do it more than once, but I couldn't decide which one I was going to go with.
All right.
So I have 2 different ways to get from one to the other, and they're both the same connection, basically.
Okay.
Lawrence Fishburne is on Blackish.
Yes.
Right now, he's playing Pops. Tyra Banks comes on to Blackish every now and then, playing Dre's friend. She was in Higher Learning with Omar Epps.
Yes. Also Love and Basketball.
Tyra Banks was in Love and Basketball?
Yeah, she was the girlfriend. Oh, fiance. When they separated, they had broken up after college, and then they went off and did their own thing, and then she comes back and she's like, oh, hi.
I don't remember any of that.
Fiance.
I just remember him going up to the window at the end. I play you one-on-one.
Play you for your heart. Well, she obviously won his heart, and Tyra got booted.
So also, as you mentioned, Lawrence is in Boys in the Hood with Ice Cube. Ice Cube is in Hard Learning with Omar Epps.
Yes.
Both 1 degree of separation, so we're
Yes.
tied.
We are.
Okay, next up we have Khalees and Magic Johnson.
Do you want to go first this time?
I can go first. I thought this was going to be difficult as hell, but it wasn't. So, Khalees was signed to Star Trek Records, signed by the Neptunes. They were producing their records, writing their songs, all that good stuff. Pharrell has a song called Happy. Magic Johnson is in that video. Direct connection with Pharrell. 1 degree.
You want to know why I'm laughing?
Because you have the exact same
I
thing.
have the exact same thing.
Of course. that's why you're laughing.
I was trying not to let you see my face while you were saying it. Yep, I have the exact same thing.
I'm not
But
surprised.
I started off with Too Short because he was
Okay.
on Bossy with her. Because I'm like, Too Short's got to be able to connect back to Magic somehow.
Right.
Just, I don't know, they're both in California. But then I just moved away from that. I thought maybe Pharrell would be easier to connect to because he's worked with so many people.
Right.
And then I ended up in the same space as you.
Exact same thing happened. I knew that it was going to be through the Neptunes, and I immediately remembered, like, oh, Magic's in the video.
Yeah.
Boom.
Because we didn't watch the entire video because it's 24 hours long.
Yeah, it's the greatest music video
Yeah.
I've ever seen in my life.
Because the looping of the song is just flawless. Because we did watch it for quite a long
Yeah.
time as a web developer, which is my day job. I'm very intrigued by how they made the video because it's a 24-hour video. You actually see
It goes
day
from day
goes
to
into
night.
night. Yep. And whatever time you visit the website is the exact time of the video.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
And also wherever you click on the website. So if you fast forward or rewind, it'll show you where you are in the song, but at that time of day. So for example, if he's singing I'm happy at 3 a.m., you click on that, it goes to that point. If you go to 9:17 a.m., it goes to that point. So there's no lag or anything. It was a great site.
I have a feeling, I don't know how many like web developer nerds listen to this. I have a feeling someone is just gonna be like, oh my God, that's so easy to do.
Well, I'm not a web developer. I thought it was great.
But for me, I'm like, I wonder how they coded that.
All right, you want to go to the next one?
Sure.
This was my favorite one, as a matter of fact, just because it's so ridiculous in its idea. This was my favorite one to do. So I'll let you go first. Because I say that because we have this whole gray area thing. This is the grayest area of all time. I was really reaching with this one.
I actually found a connection much quicker than I expected. So this was Jackie Chan
Yes.
to just anyone at the 95 Source Awards.
Yes, it could be anybody. But
So-
mine was a little gray.
So at first I was like, okay, Chris Tucker, Rush Hour, that could be my start. It just
Right.
seems like that would open the doors. However, I was just looking around and I saw that Warren G.
Oh, God.
Don't tell me you did the same
Really?
thing. Had a song in his movie and then
Oh, man. From the Super Cop soundtrack.
Yes, and
What's
he
love
was-
got to do with it?
in the video and he's Snoop's brother who was at the 95 Source
Oh,
Awards.
man. Of all the people to choose from at the 95 Source Awards, we both choose Warren G.
Should I even keep track? Because not only are we 3-3,
Oh, man.
2 of the 3, we picked the same connection.
That is hilarious.
I think we spend too much time together. So 3
All right,
for
then.
3, I guess.
Okay. We're both at 3 and 3. I know for a fact that when we get down towards the bottom, this is where we're going to separate.
Hopefully.
I
Because
know.
then this won't be much fun then if we just repeat each other.
Oh, man.
All right.
Well, at least I can tell you my connection.
Okay.
I didn't go the Snoop route. I basically said Warren G, Super Cop soundtrack,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Dre is his stepbrother who was at the 95 Source Awards. That was my connection.
Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Snoop, Dre, they're all in the same group.
I should get an extra point since they're family.
But did I get it wrong? I thought, you know what? I got it mixed up.
What are you talking about?
I was thinking Warren G was Snoop's brother, but it was Dre.
Yeah.
Well, my connection still works.
It still works.
Yeah. I thought they were half brothers.
No, they're stepbrother.
Stepbrothers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, next up we have Sugar Free and Alicia Keys. This is an interesting pairing, if I do say so myself, and I'm proud of it. You want me to go first this time?
Sure.
Okay, so a lot of Sugar Free's work has been produced by DJ Quick. DJ Quick produced a song on the Tony album called Let's Get Down. Tony did The Diary with Alicia
Yep.
Keys. So I went from Sugar Free to Quick to Tony, to Alicia Keys. So that's 2 from me.
I got 2 connections too, and yay, it's not the same as yours this time.
Okay. That's the only one I could come up with, so I'm interested to see what you got.
Okay, so I figured Sugar Free and Snoop had to be friends or have worked together or something, just because I'm not as familiar with Sugar Free's work as you are.
Sugar Free to Pimp.
But I figured him and Snoop have to know each other. They just have to.
They're on several songs
Yes.
together.
So that's the first connection.
Okay.
And then I went to Jay-Z, who wrote Still Dre, and he was on the Drop It Like It's Hot remix. They do a lot of stuff together.
Okay.
And then Empire State of Mind with Alicia Keys.
All right.
And not Little Mama. She wanted to be a part of that song, but she is not.
She isn't. And it probably would have been even better if Sugar Free had gone on stage instead of Lil Mama, at least for my own entertainment.
When I was just looking up stuff, I don't even know why I looked that up, because it's not like I don't know that Jay-Z and Alicia Keys had that song together. But I have a tab open in my browser that I'm going to come back to later that talks about Little Mama hasn't heard back from Jay-Z and Alicia Keys after apologizing.
Okay. I guess she's going to be waiting.
Well, this is an old article. Oh, no, it isn't. Posted April 11, 2021. I just assumed this was from that time.
That was literally 2 weeks ago.
So for anyone who may have not heard,
That's funny.
when Jay-Z and Alicia Keys performed Empire State of Mind on some award show, Little Mama claims that she was so moved that she went up on stage as they were performing and did the old rap.
She just
the rap
came out and did a
pose.
pose at the end.
With them.
After kind of wandering back and forth on the stage while they're still doing the song, and Jay-Z looks at her like, what the fuck are you doing up here?
Yeah. Actually, wasn't this the same Grammys when Kanye...
Oh, it was MTV Awards,
or MTV,
I believe.
when Kanye did his
With Taylor Swift.
infamous Taylor Swift,
Yep.
because we were joking around that Beyonce had a rough night.
She did.
Because she was
Because
trying to stop Kanye. She tried to stop Little
Yeah, she
Mama. She literally grabbed her.
reached out and grabbed her.
And tried to pull
she
her back.
Wiggled away. Mm-hmm. And same thing with Kanye. She's like, no. There's one scene where you can see her mouthing the words, Kanye,
no. Yes. So Beyonce had a rough night that
She
night
did.
too.
That's why she don't go to award shows
Yep.
anymore.
Y'all can't be trusted.
At all.
She's like, I can't be here to keep everyone in line.
It's like, I'm just going to stay home.
And then you got Blue making her hold her snacks and stuff too. No wonder why she doesn't want to go outside her house. All right.
What we got next? You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay. This one is Blair Underwood and Paula J. Parker.
So I started with Jada Pinkett. They were in Set It Off together.
Okay.
He was Jada Pinkett's love interest.
Right.
And then Paula J. Parker was in Woo with Jada Pinkett.
Oh.
So this scene with her and Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
He dresses up as a pimp and he has her dressing up as a chicken because he likes hoes and he likes chicken. So he wanted her to be a chicken hoe.
I forgot that movie.
And the great line, chicken hoe, no. You want chicken? You take your ass to the Colonel, Pimp Daddy. And I can't remember what song that was on. It has to be one of the songs on the Woo soundtrack.
Yeah.
Where they actually include that line at the beginning.
I completely forgot about that movie. Well, I didn't go that route, but mine was still 2 people. But it was the same start, Blair Underwood being in Set It Off. But Dr. Dre is also in Set It Off.
Oh, I don't remember.
Very briefly, he's in Set It Off as well, who was in NWA with Ice Cube. So now we have 2. And Ice Cube was in Friday with Paula J. Parker. So that was my 2.
So we're still tied.
Still tied.
The funny thing about Blair Underwood for me is, although he's been in so many things, whenever I forget his name, I always say to you, the black hiker. Because the first thing that always pops in my head is this little skit that he did. I think it was like for Funny or Die or something.
Yeah.
Just some little random skit where they just kind of did a play on the stereotype that like black people don't go hiking.
And there he is, hiking in the woods.
And all the white folks coming by are trying to take pictures of him like he's some kind of endangered species.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what? I'm just going for a hike.
I'm just hiking, man.
Every time I'm like, black hiker. That guy.
Oh, so this next one, it was difficult. I had a hard time with it, and I don't know if it was hard for you, but it was very difficult for me. And there's some more gray area as well. So I have a backup just in case I don't get my gray area approved.
Do you want to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
All right. So the category is Selma Hayek and T.R.O.Y Moses. On the surface, it's like, this is fucking impossible, but it is, maybe, if this is allowed. Okay, Salma Hayek was in a movie called Like a Boss with Natasha Rothwell, who plays Kelly on Insecure.
Right.
They played You Better Tell Her in episode 2 of season 2 of Insecure. See, there's my gray area.
Yeah.
And y'all can't see it, but she's giving me a face saying that this don't count.
That was just like the example we talked about.
It is. So that's why I have a backup.
Okay.
It's not quite as gray.
All right.
Because I can't prove that one of these happened. There's documentation of it. I haven't found a video. Allegedly, T.R.O.Y Moses performed on It's Showtime at the Apollo. She performed You Better Tell Her, I think. Well, one of the songs from the album. Tracy Morgan also performed on It's Showtime at the Apollo at one point, and he was on 30 Rock with Salma Hayek.
Well, if it's documented, I'd say that counts.
But I can't find a video, so maybe it didn't even happen.
But, okay, where did you find it documented?
It's just on the Googles on IMDb.
Yeah. Okay. I would say, in theory, that means it happened.
Okay.
So I'll let that one
But
go.
I can't prove it, so. But I'm going to take the points, so 2 points for me.
So, what was it? T.R.O.Y to...
T.R.O.Y to the Apollo Theater.
Oh.
Well, the show, It's Showtime at the Apollo.
Right. But Tracy Morgan was there.
He, not on the same episode. He's performed on the show, though.
Oh, okay. That's another gray area, though.
Hey, we connected Jackie Chan to people at the 95 Source Awards and counted.
No, but that's because he was in the video with Warren G, so that's a direct connection. And then Warren G is like connected to Snoop and Dre, who were at the 95 Source Awards.
Yeah, and T.R.O.Y Moses performed at the Apollo Theater where Tracy Morgan performed.
But there's no connection between T.R.O.Y and Tracy Morgan.
The Apollo Theater is the
no,
connection.
but that's not a person.
It's not a person, but it's still a connection.
No.
Yes.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Fine.
If you're going to connect it to a place, then we could connect anybody. Oh, you were on this street. There's a connection.
I can't prove that, though.
I thought you meant he was there when she
No,
performed.
he wasn't.
No, I don't count that.
Fine. That's all right. I'm going to make up the points when we get towards the end. Trust me on this one.
Because, like I was saying, we connected Jackie Chan to people, though.
Yeah.
They were people at an event, but they were still connected to people.
Yeah.
Because I only let that Jackie Chan one slide because he was actually in the video with Warren G. I would not have let it slide if it was just clips from the movie. They were together.
I'll take it.
All right.
What do you got?
I got Salma Hayek.
Okay.
I started off like you. She was in the Like a Boss movie, but I went with Tiffany Haddish.
Okay.
Tiffany Haddish was in the Nice for What video, Drake.
Okay. And Salma Hayek is in that too?
No, she's not.
Oh, okay. Because I know he had a bunch of women in it, so I just
He
assumed
did,
she
but
was
she wasn't.
too.
So we got Salma to Tiffany Haddish to Drake, and then Drake and Mary J. Blige have a couple songs together. T.R.O.Y Moses wrote So Lady for Mary J. Blige.
Okay.
That one took some time, though, so that was 3 connections in between.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool.
You looking a little salty over
That's
there.
all right. Like I said, my time is coming.
It's your time to shine.
It is. We're getting into my territory right now with the next few.
All right.
And when I said that there's a lynch between all of them, like something or some people unlock everything, that's where we are now.
All right.
That's the section we're in.
Okay. So before we got to the Salma Hayek and T.R.O.Y Moses pairing, we were tied. And since we're scoring this like golf scores, where we want the lowest scores, we've been awarding a point for the number of connections. So for example, if it's 1 connection, that's 1 point. 2 connections, 2 points. So we are at 7-7.
Yes.
But for Salma Hayek and T.R.O.Y Moses, I needed 3 connections. So that takes me to 10.
Yep. And because I didn't have a connection, there's going to be a 5-stroke penalty. So I take 5. I'm down 2 now, but I'm making a furious comeback like Tiger Woods when he puts on his red polo on Sundays.
Okay.
So by the time we get to the end, I will be fist pumping.
We'll see. Okay, so we're currently at 12 for you, 10 for me.
Yep.
Because of your penalty.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Next up, we have Keith David and Regina King, and I will let you go first this time.
Okay, so I have Keith David connecting to either Ice Cube or Chris Tucker. He was in Barbershop with Ice Cube, and he was in Dead Presidents with Chris Tucker, so either one.
Okay.
Because they were both in Friday with Regina King.
All right. That's cool. That's cool. I didn't go that route.
Okay.
But it's pretty much the same thing. Keith David was in Crash also with Sandra Bullock, and Regina King was in Miss Congeniality 2 with Sandra Bullock. So that is my connection.
Okay.
From Keith David to Regina King through one person, Sandra Bullock.
All right, me too. So we're we're not neck and neck. I'm still winning then. Yeah, that one actually was very easy because he's in a lot of movies. She's in a lot of things.
Exactly.
So.
When I said that there's one person that unlocks all of this, it's him. Yep, because he led me to other people on this list that we're going to talk about later.
All right. You know what's funny? Remember I asked you, I'm like, who's Keith David?
Exactly. And I told you that was your problem to figure out.
Yep. And then when I saw him, I'm like, oh, him. Like, he's in everything,
He is.
Right? Which is funny because the next pairing is Clifton Powell.
Who's also in everything.
Yes, but pairing him with Bobby Brown, I found this really hard. So
I didn't.
Okay, so I guess this is where you can catch up.
It is.
Do you want me to go first then?
I'll let you go first just to see if you needed more steps.
I took a lot of steps.
Okay.
So I start with Mos Def or Yazin Bey in the Boondocks.
Okay.
Clifton Powell had such a small part in there. He was one of the prisoners in the Booty Warrior episode.
I don't even remember him being in it.
But I chose the Boondocks just because I figured there's a lot of people to choose from.
There is.
So now he's connected to Mos Def / Yazin Bey. You definitely remember Mos Def as Gangstalicious, though. Mos Def connects to Mary J because she did a song with him and Talib Kweli as Black Star. She sang the hook in the song Beautiful, which is also her song on the How Stella Got Her Groove Back soundtrack. And then she had a song with Ja Rule, Rainy Days. Rainy Days.
I know where this is going to end up.
Yep, this is
The Last Temptation.
This is gonna end up one of your favorite music videos.
It sure is.
Bobby Brown jumping out of helicopters, coming in hot, and doing his little hip thrusting dance that he loves to do so much.
I love this video so much. I do.
So 3 connections to get from Clifton Powell to Bobby Brown.
All right. So you needed 3, and I'm down by 2. We can just go ahead and tie this up right now.
Okay.
Here's that Tiger Woods fist pump going on.
Okay.
So Clifton Powell was in Ray.
Yep.
Regina King was also in Ray. Regina King was in A Thin Line Between Love and Hate with Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown.
Yes.
You know what? I forgot that Bobby Brown was actually in a movie.
Not me.
I was trying to connect him from actor to singer.
Nope.
Because what I was finding that if we were going from actor to actor or singer to singer, that made it a lot easier.
See,
for the most part.
That's why I didn't even try and go the music route. Other than like that direct jump from Magic to Pharrell,
Right.
I tried to stay away from the music. But Bobby being in A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, boom, there we go.
Oh, man. I should have looked at his IMDb. I forgot about that.
We are tied.
So I had 3 connections. You had 2, right?
No, I had 1.
1.
Regina King.
Oh, right.
Just 1.
So Clifton Powell to Regina King to Bobby Brown.
Yep.
Okay.
Give me my points.
Okay, so you may have won that round.
Okay.
But I still like my connection better because I ended up with the Bobby Brown Ja Rule.
You did.
I know that's not how the game works,
It's not.
but my connection was better.
Was it?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, man.
All right, next up. This one was difficult, really difficult for me. We're going from Gloria Estefan to Outkast, and that's either Big Boy or Andre. Either one.
Okay, I'll let you go first.
You're gonna let me go first. All right, Gloria Estefan. She did an episode of the reboot of One Day at a Time, and the star of that show is old girl that was on 6 Feet Under, Justina Machado. She was on ER with Mekhi Phifer, who was in 8 Mile with Anthony Mackie, who was in Hollywood Homicide with Andre 3000.
All right.
Told you that one was difficult. It took me some working out, and I started on this one last night and had to finish it this morning because that was by far the hardest one that I had.
So how many connections was that?
It's 3. So Gloria Estefan goes to Justina Machado. So that's 1. Justina Machado to Mekhi Phifer is 2. Mekhi Phifer to Anthony Mackie is 3.
Okay.
Which then links Anthony Mackie and Andre being in Hollywood Homicide.
All right.
Your turn.
I got 2 connections.
Okay.
I stumbled onto this and I was like, yes, I know exactly. Well, okay, this might be a gray area though.
Okay.
Okay, so I have Gloria Estefan connecting to Brian McKnight. He did a
Okay.
cover of Show Me the Way Back to Your Heart,
Okay.
who did a song with Ill and Al Scratch,
Oh, God.
who got beat out by Outkast at the 95 Source Awards.
Oh, God.
So I was trying to confirm if they were at the awards show because that was when you were asking me if I was done. And I said, I just need to confirm something.
Right.
So I didn't actually see them at the awards, but I don't see why they wouldn't have been there.
I can't confirm if they were at the show.
Yeah. This is the first time you're having like a televised hip hop award show in New York, and you're gonna tell me that they were nominated, and you're gonna tell me that Ill and Al Scratch were too busy to come that night. So it's unconfirmed whether they were there or not, but I'd say it's highly likely that they were there.
I'm just thinking back to when we did the Source Awards episode, and they ran down the list of people at the beginning.
Yeah,
like who were going to be.
I looked that up too, but they only ran down the list of the presenters because I actually wrote the whole thing down when we did the Source Awards episode. So then I was trying to see, you know, when you announce nominees, they show them in the crowd. They just showed clips of the videos instead. So I can't confirm that they were there, other than the fact that why would they not be there?
That's true.
Right. It's in New York. They're up for the New Artist Award.
Yep.
I highly doubt they were too busy to be there.
That's true.
So
I'll allow it.
I also just wanted to make you laugh by bringing up Ill and Al Scratch again and the 95 Source Awards.
Ill and Al Scratch. Jesus.
So that's my gray area. What do you think?
I'll let it go.
Okay.
I'll let you have that one.
All right. So that's 2 connections for me. So Gloria Estefan to Brian McKnight to, I hate that song, I'll Take Her. With Ill and Al Scratch to Outkast.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Okay, so that's 2 for me, and how many for you?
I had 3, so I'm down by 1.
All right.
You are winning again.
Woohoo! 1 ahead.
That's okay. Next up, we have Tyrese to Daniel Day Kim. You can go up first.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up one of your favorite movies again.
So we have the same thing. We may as well just go ahead and skip this one.
I went from Tyrese to Ludacris in Fast and Furious to Daniel Day Kim to fucking Crash.
Same one. The exact same
Even though his part in Crash was
it's
so
very
small.
Quick because I remember when we watched it and I saw him.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to come back later in the movie, but he never did.
He didn't. Nope. He had like 1 line.
This was my easiest one because I remembered him being in Crash.
This is one of the few ones where I didn't have to really do any looking.
I didn't.
I was going to try to connect it to Lost somehow.
That's where I was thinking at first, but then I remembered, wait a minute, he was in Crash.
Yes, and that made it easier because it's like, okay, there's Ludacris.
Yep.
Fast and Furious, done. Initially, I was thinking Lost because there's a lot of people to choose from, right? But
nope.
So we got the same one again.
Yep.
Okay. Again, we spend too much time together.
Pretty much.
So we got 2 pairs left.
We do.
So I'm leading by 1.
For now.
2 pairs to go.
For now. I think this is where I make a comeback.
Probably. This one was hard for me.
Especially with the last one.
This one took a while for me. Okay.
So this one is Morris Chestnut to Benjamin Bratt. So I guess I'm going first.
Sure, if you want.
All right, so I have 2. Morris Chestnut was in Boys in the Hood with Regina King. Regina King was in Miss Congeniality 2 with Sandra Bullock, which we have already mentioned because all of these people are connected somehow.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock was in Miss Congeniality 1 with Benjamin Bratt. There we go.
2
Regina King. Morris Chestnut, Gina King, Sandra Bullock, Benjamin Bratt for 2.
Okay. Didn't you say you had... Oh, you
no,
had
I just
2
meant
connections?
that it was 2 connections, not
oh, okay.
2 different ways to get to it.
So I had 2 connections too.
Okay.
And I got real lucky. And let me tell you.
All right.
So I actually connected Morris Chestnut to Boys in the Hood as well, but this time with Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay.
I connected Lawrence Fishburne to Anthony Anderson in Blackish.
Okay.
And the reason why I was trying so hard to connect Morris Chestnut to Anthony Anderson is because he was on Law and Order.
Oh.
But he was a detective on Law and Order, and I was like, well, they weren't partners.
They weren't.
But there is 1 episode when Benjamin Bratt comes back.
Hilarious.
In a season where Anthony Anderson is there, because Anthony Anderson's partner is Jeremy Sisto, who I always think of as Rolling with the Homies, thanks to Clueless. Because I was like, oh yeah, they were both in Law and Order together, but then I remembered our rules. They have to have been in the same room together.
Well, not in the same room, but somebody has to be in the same room with them.
So I was like, oh, that's a bit of a gray area. They're both on the show, but not at the same time. But then I tracked down the 1 episode where he came back.
Okay.
So there's my 2 connections
All
as
right.
well.
So you're still up by 1 going into the final
Final
matchup.
round. Do we have a drum roll? Since we are going to the final round, let's do a score tally. Even though half of our answers were the same.
They are.
Or we had the same amount of connections, that penalty really got you.
It did.
Yep. So we are currently at 5, 10, 15, 19 for you versus 18 for me.
Yep.
So I'm technically up 1.
Yes.
Or down 1, depending how you...
Least
I'm
amount,
down 1.
The least amount of connections is what you have.
All right, so we're going into the final round.
Yep.
Shall we rock, paper, scissors? Who goes first?
No. I think I went first the last time, so you may as well go ahead and take this one.
Okay.
Add some dramatics to it to see if I can actually come back and overtake you and win.
How do I add dramatics to it?
By having more than me and then I get less than you.
Okay. I have a feeling that our connections start the same at least.
Okay.
So it's Marissa Tomei to Mekhi Phifer.
Right. That's what we're trying to get to.
So the easiest way for me to start with Marissa Tomei was A Different World. She was in the first season. I figured that would give me a lot of black actors to connect to. Even though Mekhi Phifer's done a few things, that would probably be the easiest route. So she was in A Different World with Lisa Bonet.
Okay.
Who is the mother of Zoe Kravitz.
Okay.
Who was in Divergent with Mekhi Phifer.
All right. Okay.
So I got 2 connections.
2. All right. So remember when I said there was going to be some drama here? I'm down by 1 going into this, and I have 1 connection, meaning that we're
going to tie.
I went the other way with it,
All right.
with 1 connection. And she's in a couple different movies because she's in these Marvel movies now, playing Aunt May.
I don't know these Marvel movies.
Exactly. So I just went with her being in Captain America Civil War, and Anthony Mackie's in that. Anthony Mackie plays Papa Doc in 8 Mile with Mekhi Phifer. 1.
So Anthony Mackie is the connection. Okay.
Leaving us tied at the end of all of this.
So we're tied.
Yep.
And that's that.
Okay.
But you would have won.
I know. I would have won if there wasn't the penalty.
Yep.
And I was allowed to use the Apollo Theater.
I wasn't even going to say that.
Okay.
Because I still don't think you can use the Apollo Theater as connection. Initially, I said, since it took me 3 connections, that your penalty would be 4. And you said, no, we should do 5.
Yeah. I figured it would be a 5-stroke penalty.
So
yeah,
it's a tie.
It's a tie.
You came up with that rule, so
I'm okay with that.
That leaves us with the tie.
I'm okay with being tied.
Part of me wanted to connect everyone back to
Clifton Powell.
No, not Clifton Powell. How did I just the whole reason for the 6 degrees?
Oh, Kevin Bacon?
Yeah, because there is a website dedicated to connecting everyone back to Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, called the oracleofbacon.org.
Because wasn't he the one who said that he could pretty much connect to anybody? Oh, who said it? How
I
did
don't
this
know
start?
where it originally came from, but basically it became a thing saying that Kevin Bacon is connected to pretty much everybody in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it seems that way because it's pretty much true. Like, you run his name through this website against pretty much anybody and you can find a connection somehow. If you would like to put together the most random people like I did and actually find connections, go to oracleofbacon.org. I'm not sure who originally started the whole Kevin Bacon theory, but the 6 degrees of separation has just been a thing that everybody in the world can be connected by 6 people or less.
Which I think we proved, because
Yeah.
even the ones that we thought were pretty tough, it still didn't require more than 3 connections.
Yeah. And like I said, Clifton Powell and Keith David just unlock a lot of connections
Definitely.
with a lot of people.
Yeah, because we definitely repeated a few movies and stuff too, as well.
And that's how I started coming up with all this stuff after I realized that Keith David and Regina King had that connection. I was like, wait a minute, let me go down the list and try and think of what other movies he's been in. And
Yeah.
there you have it.
So did this make you want to rewatch any movies or listen to any albums, or just, I think this was more movies than music. Even though we had music artists, I think this made us look up more movie acting related stuff.
I would say movies and TV shows for me, because the music connections I already listened to anyway. So I don't feel the need to go back and listen to that. But there are some movies and shows I wouldn't mind seeing again. I haven't seen Set It Off in a while. As well go back and check that out. Why not?
This whole idea came up because we were realizing, as we were doing all these podcast episodes, that all these people connect, that a lot of our references are things that we've been watching recently.
So it's fresh on our minds.
Yeah, like I don't need Crash to be this fresh on my mind, but here it is.
Like, I immediately went to Daniel Day Kim, was like, oh, I just saw him in Crash.
And we actually edited out a very long rant of how bad that movie was in the Lorenz Tate episode, because we're like, we're here to talk about Lorenz.
That movie sucks.
All right.
Okay, you got anything else you would like to add before we sign off?
Just thanks for your support. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for telling a friend to tell a friend.
Yes. Make sure to follow us on social media at Troy Podcast. It's everywhere at Troy Podcast. So Twitter, Instagram, Black Planet, Facebook. Okay, maybe not Black Planet and Facebook, but definitely on Twitter and Instagram at Troy Podcast. You can check out the website, troypodcast.com. You can check us out on YouTube. We put some of these playlists up on YouTube as well. Speaking of playlists, we do have music that goes along with all of these episodes. You can just search it by title on Spotify. So the title of the episode or at Troy Podcast, it will come up. That's pretty much all I got.
Me too.
See y'all next time and bye.
Bye.